Hello there, ladies, gents, and everybody in between. This is your pal Wolfie, coming back at you with another review, this time for the DualSense Edge controller. So this is PlayStation's first endeavor doing a Pro controller. So like in the past, if you wanted a Pro controller for PlayStation, you'd have to get it from other retailers such as the Scuff Company. And they usually make their own kind of Pro controllers for the last couple of years, and a lot of people like them. I never owned a Scuff myself. The only Pro controller I have ever owned was the Elite controller from that Microsoft makes for their Xboxes. When I used to have an Xbox, I used it for that. I have since sold that a long time ago. But with PlayStation, I've always wanted to get a Pro controller for it, but with Scuff, they tend to retail that thing for just way too out of my price range. But this time, PlayStation is making their own, and it retails for about $200, which if you add taxes is $217. And honestly, that's not bad. In my opinion, it's not that bad. And so let's jump into talking about this bad boy. So this is the hard shell cover it comes in. If you want to see the box, this is the box that it comes in. You know, standard, typical thing with your little advertisements at the bottom, let you know what's in the box, all that stuff. But that aside, this is the actual hard shell cover it comes with. And when I tell you hard, like this thing, I feel like if this fell on my foot, I would feel it. But also in the back, I don't know if you can really see it, it has the little PlayStation symbols that I think is really, really cute. And it's got a back flap made that has Velcro so that you can open it up, and that's where you can put the wire that comes in the game, so you can have it charging while it's sitting inside the cover. And then, you know, that way it's all protective, you don't have to worry about it. So unzipping it, this is what it looks like when you open it up. So I have since opened it up for a while now. I was gonna do an unboxing, but I ended up not doing it. But what it comes with is the controller itself. You get more options as far as the thumbsticks. You get 3 options with the thumbsticks. You get the standard, which is already on the controller when you get it. You get the tall ones, which are these, and you get the shorter ones, which are these. So everybody has their stick preference. For me, I like to actually have a mix. I like to have the standard one from my left thumb, and I like to have the taller one from my right thumb, and that is just a personal preference. Like for me, it makes the ease of movement when I'm playing a game a lot easier, so that's what I go for. It also comes with paddles, 2 different types of paddles. You get the longer ones, like these are the ones that you'll typically see on Pro controllers. And then PlayStation decided to make their own type, and they added like half paddles. So with these things, as you can see, they're a little bit shorter, and in my opinion, it actually makes it easier when so like, say you're playing a game. If you have these in versus if you have yeah. So if you to show you the difference between the 2 paddles, with the half one and the longer one. So with the longer one, if you're holding it, typically if you're holding a controller, you'll hold it like this, right? So your hand is already covering the longer paddle, and it's built to support the way your fingers would be curling around it. So then you would just do that. But oftentimes, in my experience, I will accidentally hit that paddle all the time, and it actually made it a nuisance to the point where if the controller allowed it, I would take it off every time, and I never really used the back paddle for it. Now with this, you would actually have to move your finger from here and see. So then that way it makes it easier for you to keep using the back paddle, but at the same time you don't have to worry about accidentally hitting it while you're playing a game. And for me, I think that's just, it's nice to have the option. I mean, if you're not like me and you don't and hit this by accident all the time, you're gonna be fine. But if you are like me and you do hit it all like pretty accidentally often, then now you have this option for you as well. And of course, you can just take them off. It's easy. It's like literally just slipping it right off. You can always just take it off and call it a day. And to me, like I like having options. Like having options is always the biggest deal. But going on, you also on the controller you have the back switches, and now that controls the levels of how the triggers move. So you can either have it, this is the standard one, and that's the one at the very top. The middle is just a tad, like a little tad shorter, just a tad shorter, and then the bottom one is to the point. That's what I call it. I call it the to the point option. And I know, like with pro gamers, you typically they'll have that setting for the right trigger to be at its lowest, so it's fast. It's like a faster response time to shooting your gun. And so, like, I mean, if you're not a pro player, that probably won't matter all that much to you. But if you do like the feeling of just the fast, now you have that option to do so. And you can do it on both, obviously. So if you're aiming and you like that short instance of aim, there you go. Or if you're like me and you like to feel like you're pulling a bow back, you have the top option. All right, so, but I don't know if you can see the detail. It might be hard to show. But on the bottom of the trigger itself, it actually has the PlayStation symbols embedded, which is really, really cool. It's really nice. It feels pretty nice too when you're playing the games. You can feel it. You can feel like that little grate, and it's really nice. But that is also on the touchpad. Touchpad has it as well. Again, you're probably not going to really see it in this video, but on my Twitter I did post a bunch of pictures when I was unboxing it, and that has better detail so that you can actually see it. So my shameless plug, come follow me on Twitter. I'm at the Lone Wolf 28, aka Wolf Jilly Jill, and come hang with me. Anyway, but I also I love the color scheme. So now, just so you can see the difference, this is what the first DualSense controller that you got coming out of the box looks like, and then that's what the Edge looks like. So how they have the black here on the touchpad, the black here, the black here, I love that personally. Like, I actually like it. And now this has a glossy finish to match the console itself, how it has the glossy front. And also, which I had forgotten to talk about when I was posting my pictures for the thing, it comes with function buttons. I don't know if it shows, but down here, these are the function buttons. And what they typically do is, like, if you are anywhere familiar with computers, the function button usually allows you, like, it's kind of like Alt or Control. It gives you just another option plus a, like in this case, a face button. So the function plus a face button will help, is how you would change the profiles for your controllers, which I will be showing later in this video. But yeah, and then, okay, so they also improve the grip. Like, again, harder to see, but I'll try to explain it as much as possible. But the grip here is a lot smoother, and it feels so much better to the touch. They also rounded the bottom of it. So typically, if you see, like, this is what it looks like on the base controller. This is what it looks like now. And this whole round thing, it feels really, really nice. And honestly, size-wise, these are about the same size. I can't really, like, at least for me holding it, it doesn't feel all that long. My fingers aren't, my hands aren't that big, but my fingers are long. So for me, I get like a whole grip on this thing. And with this, it's the same deal. So it feels about the same. This feels a little weightier. And what I mean by that is you can definitely feel the difference as far as this is just a tiny bit heavier. But literally, if you're playing games regularly, it's not going to bother. It's really no difference. And this glossy finish actually is for a purpose. You can actually, there's a release button on the back of the controller, and when you hit the release, let me see if I can do this without, comes right off. So you would hit the release, and this is what it looks like on the inside. Again, I'm hoping it shows as well as it does for me. And then you would just pick up these paddles, you lift these paddles, and then you pull out the thumbstick module. So these are replaceable. So anybody who's ever been dealing with stick drift, which is more common in Switch controllers, the Switch Joy-Cons, I have personally never experienced drift with any controller ever, so I have no experience with that. But for the people who do, from what I've been told, it is terrible. It like messes up your entire gameplay session. So we don't want that. So PlayStation put in the option where you can replace these, and I think these replacements, if I'm not mistaken, are $20. So say one day you're playing and your controller starts to do the stick drift. Now all you have to do is get a replacement module, and they even have a spot in the case where you can place them. So let me see. I haven't done this yet, so let me stick this bad boy in hell. Oh, okay, I see how it goes. But yeah, so you would just pop it in there, just like that. And there you go. So like, I'm not sure if anybody's gonna do that, but I might eventually buy another one just to have in there for just in case. But again, I've never experienced it before, ever, with any controller I've ever owned. But the option is there for you. And as far as, if you know me, options are what matters to me. The only time I criticize if there is no options. If there are options, I will never criticize you. And that's just me, because to me, that's what works out. But yeah, so easy slip right back in. You would push the paddle back down. And just click right in. And there you go. Right back to stage one. So as far as my experience with the controller, it has been fantastic. I own quite a lot of controllers for PlayStation, and to prove my point, here's my red one. Here's my black one. And here's the camo and the purple. So yeah, I own a lot of controllers. The reason being is because I actually own a lot of consoles, and I found ways to get adapters that allow me to use a PlayStation DualSense controller with those consoles. So like, I actually use a DualSense for my PC, I use it for my PlayStation 3, and soon I'm going to be using it for my PlayStation 2. And you can also get one to use it with your PlayStation 4 if you still have one. So, I mean, that shit works out for me. Anyway, getting back to the DualSense. So, I played with it all day yesterday. And I know that there's been a bit of controversy about the battery life, which I can confirm to you is absolute bullshit. Because it's been bullshit for a long time. I work a 9-hour work shift, and so I don't get to play games as often as I would like. And I'm pretty sure for most adults, that is the truth. So typically, most people don't really need more than at least 5 to 6 hours to play a game, if even that much. Me, on my days off, that's all I do. I play games all day. So typically I can play about 20 hours in a day if I really wanted to. So yesterday, what I decided to do is make yesterday a long game session, and I played Cyberpunk 2077 for about 10 hours. So that's the entire prologue plus the Act 1 portion of the game. Played through the whole thing, never turned off the controller. I have them on the highest settings, all adaptive triggers being strong, the haptic feedback being strong, all of that. The only thing I adjusted, because this is just a personal thing, is I always put, from all my controllers, I put the light on dim. And that really doesn't do that much difference. Anyway, with all of that said and done, played that entire session, never turned off the controller. The controller only started telling me that the battery was low when I was coming to the end of that session. So anybody that's telling you that the battery life is, oh my god, blah blah blah, they're bullshitting you. It's absolute bullshit. And if anything, it comes with a braided wire, USB cable, so you can just use that. And also a nice little thing they added too is, so this little thing here, when you open it up, you can put your braided wire in there, click it, and it comes with a lock unlock. So you would just put it onto the controller, have it unlocked, put it on the controller, lock it, and now this won't come off. So if you do come to if you're doing a long session and you do come to the point where the controller is getting low, you just pop this bad boy on, plug it into the console, and know that if you have, like me, and you have 1,000 cats or dog and they trip over this thing, it's going to send the controller flying right out of your hand. But you know what? It won't disconnect. Which I think it's a fair trade. But yeah, and then you would just unlock it. And you unlock it and you pull it right off. Simple as that. So you can have it charging or just have it connected to the console if you need to. And your life is easy. Also, pro tip, this does work with the PlayStation dock charging station. Just place the bad boy on there and you're good to go. If you want proof of that, here's the dock. There you go. Simple to the point, and that's straight out of the box. So, overall, like I said, I've been having a pretty good time with this, and I'm gonna, at the end of it, I'm gonna add just a little quick video showing examples of me messing around with the settings on the controller. Literally, as soon as you pair this controller with your console, the console will come up with this little screen that tells you about how to, well, it's like the welcome to being a DualSense Edge controller user, blah blah blah, and it will show you the settings that you can put for the controller, and you can literally, the profiles thing is really fucking awesome. So, and it's really easy. You would just hold the function, press the corresponding face button to whatever profile you've created, and you'll have a good ass time. But I mean, short, simple, to the point. And honestly, do I recommend this controller? Yes. But mostly if you are a person who is a pro controller kind of person, or if you need it for, like, if you do tournaments and stuff like that and you need to have the back pedals and stuff, or you just like the extra option of having the back pedals, most definitely recommend this controller. If you're a person that just likes having options in general with your stuff, perfect controller for that. If you're just like the average consumer and like none of this stuff is like really appealing to you, then you can skip this. You're not missing out. It's literally more or less the same controller, just with more bells and whistles. And it has like I said, and if you're somebody who has dealt with stick drift, then this is the perfect controller. If you just want to have something that's a bit of a future proof, if you will. And so this will put you in a good spot to have to not worry about that, because you can just replace it instead of replacing an entire controller. But yeah, I mean, I hope that this review was helpful. This is just coming from your average Joe, and me, I like having options, like I said. So that was the main reason why I was really excited about this controller. Like, this controller was going to give me more options. I also have accessibility needs, and having this controller is really great if you are someone like me who has accessibility needs. Like, for me, I get pain in my wrists sometimes, and so being able to not have to do certain things, like having to stretch my thumb over to hit the face buttons for certain things, or going for the triggers at certain points, I can just map that to here, and that makes that easier. But yeah, again, I hope this review was helpful for you, and like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you like. I'm not holding you to it. I'm a small channel. I just like to have fun. I love gaming, and I hope that you do too. Have a wonderful day. Wolfie out. I forgot to put this part in the actual video, but to show you also, it's a quick pull on the thumbstick and click in place, and there you go. Now you have your thumbsticks to however you would like it.